It's time for the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX. On your radio at AM 940 and online at mywithersradio.com. Recognized by the Illinois Broadcasters Association as one of the premier radio feature programs in the state. You're about to roam the region with more guests and content courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. Live from the Powerhouse, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
Saturday morning, glad to have you with us on the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Oh, who's that voice?
Scared everybody.
You scared me. Mike Richardson, of course. Chris Hugo with you in studio this morning. Danny Zerwinski as well for the Saturday Sports Show. WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Of course, it was a busy night of basketball around the region last night. We'll check in with some scores. We also have some bowling scores, of course, on our scoreboard update. We'll get to that in just a moment. Today it's going to be a busy day of basketball for you on WMIX FM. Of course, today it's the Class S State Championship and Trophy games at Rim Lake College, and we'll have both of those for you on WMIX 94.1. We will also stream video at WMIXsports.com. As in the third place game, it's the New Hebron Eagles and the 204 Tigers, and of course those teams out of Robinson and Pinckneyville respectively. In your championship game, of course, it'll be an all Jefferson County battle as the Woodlawn Warriors look to defend their state crown against the Rome Hornets. We'll talk to both of those head coaches, Matt Patterson and John Burkett, later to come on the Saturday Sports Show and set the tone for that state championship game. Coverage will kick off at 2:20 p.m. today. 2:30 will be your tip of the first game, and of course we'll have that for you on 94.1 FM and video at WMIXsports.com. But oh no, we are not done. We will race to Sides Gymnasium on the campus of Woodlawn High School. We will bring you Flora and Woodlawn tonight in boys basketball action on 94.1 FM with audio at WMIXsports.com. Should be a dandy day for a triple-header. Looks like the weather could be a little gloomy outside, so come inside and watch some junior high basketball at Rim Lake College today. Class L quarterfinals begin this morning. Of course, they will wrap up before Class S takes over later in the day. Class M actually wrapped up last night. Congratulations to the Oakville Junior Rockets as they are your Class M champions. They got a big win last night as well. You can follow us on Twitter to stay up to date. We are at WMIX Sports. We're on Facebook as well. And we always do our best to keep you updated with scores at WMIXsports.com. Speaking of which, we're going to get you the WMIXsports.com scoreboard from last night. It's a huge one. Massive. Big. I'm done.
Yeah. Come on now.
Okay. Girls bowling, Mount Vernon finished 18th after day one. 5,314 pins knocked down. Lockport Township leads the way with 6,163. For boys basketball, we'll go Class M as mentioned. Pinckneyville beat Gallatin County for third place 55-35. And Oakville beat Carroll 55-50 in the title game. In a game on WMIX FM last night, Cahokia beat Mount Vernon at home 63-52. Centralia goes on the road and beats Marion 69-61. And Carbondale beats Althoff at home 65-49. Woodlawn beat Nobles 76-23. Weber over Grayville 64-47. Wayne City over Sandoval 46-40. And North Clay beat Oughton 73-40. Nashville holds serve, beats Pinckneyville 57-31. Carterville beats DuQuoin 49-34. And Sparta beats AJ 66-41. Frankfort beats Benton on the road 52-43. Harrisburg goes on the road to beat Heron 52-45, and Massac beat Murphy 58-29. In the Black Diamond last night, Carmi beat Hamilton County 53-42. Fairfield over Vienna 68-50. Corville got a nice win on the road at SV 63-53, and Johnson City gets a nice win at with El Dorado 69-60. In the Apollo Conference, Mattoon beat Salem 78-68. Mount Zion beat Effingham 49-40. And Charleston beat Paris 74-69. Those are partial scores. We got a whole bunch more, and we'll read them later on as well. If you want to read them all, go to WMIXsports.com to the scoreboard tab, and you'll be able to find them there.
Yes, you will. And, of course, a lengthy scoreboard from last night at WMIXsports.com. You just heard part of the list. Big 12, LIC, Central State 8, all at WMIXsports.com. We pretty well tried to do most of the state last night. I think there's some South Central Conference up there as well as some non-conference action as well from last night. It was a busy night of basketball. Of course, we had the Mount Vernon Rams and Cahokia Comanches for you last night. We'll talk with Scott Gamber about the Mount Vernon Rams effort. They led 23-21 at the half. Shakari Hawkins nailed a 3 at the buzzer, and then Cahokia came out and outscored the Rams, of course, in the second half. Started the second half with an 11-0 run. They did end up winning by 11, oddly enough. So we'll talk with Scott Gamber about that. Also to come today, we'll talk with Lady Rams head coach Jeff Lonnon. We will also have Matt Patterson of the Woodlawn Warriors, John Burkett of the Rome Hornets. We'll talk with Wayne Harre of the Nashville Hornets. That should be fun. And we also have Russ Gerlach of the Wayne City Indians. All still to come on the Saturday Sports Show, plus talk about high school basketball, the regionals, the postseason pairings, whatnot. We will also talk about some girls bowling, and also we wish good luck to the Rams wrestlers, the 5 that qualified for the sectional, and cannot forget about the Rams cheerleaders. They are seeking their 5th ICCA championship today in Springfield. Good luck to the Rams cheerleaders. Maybe they can bring home another crown. We'll take a break, come back with Scott Gamber. This is the Saturday Sports Show powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. I may need them before the day's over. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything. You don't want to spend time in a waiting room, so choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With their 30-minute or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Tax time means savings time. Use that tax refund at Second Chance Auto to purchase the best quality used vehicle around. In fact, in their 32-year history, the selection has never been better at Second Chance Auto. Clean, dependable, and great-looking cars, trucks, minivans, and a huge selection of small, mid-size, and full-size SUVs. Most priced under $10,000 with 3-month or 3,000-mile warranty. Yes, your tax refund is your ticket to the vehicle you've always wanted. At Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call 244-4582.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
You bet it is. We welcome Scott Gamber, head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams. Rams, of course, lost last night 63-52 to Cahokia. Scott Gamber, I wish I could say it would be a better morning. I know how you take losses, but Rams led 23-21 at the half, looked pretty good. It's just we saw the Cahokia team that we knew they were capable of being in that second half, and they just came away with the victory.
Yeah, I thought everything, they got off to a good start, but then after the initial start, I thought everything went our way in the first half. The tempo of the game was where we wanted it to be. You had a feeling that at halftime, I thought, man, if we can just keep the tempo close to where it is now, I really liked our chances, because I thought the longer we could keep the game close, pressure would really, sway towards Cahokia. And, I thought those first 3-4 minutes of the third quarter were so important, and we just came out. We came out a little flat. They came out hot. I mean, we did not respond real well to that play, and it just got away from us. And it got at Mount Vernon. They made a run to start the third quarter, and we were able to chip back in, but you just can't do that twice, and we never could. We never could make a run to get back in the game. And again, I thought it was more of a little bit of a mental breakdown there to start the third quarter with just a couple blown assignments, and they're so tough that when you blow a couple assignments, they really make you pay. Minor had a huge game last night. And, I thought for us to be able to win at Cahokia, we had to play really well. I thought they had to have an off night, and they definitely did not have an off night. They had a lot of perimeter shots, and that can't happen, because when they're hitting perimeter shots, you have to adjust your defense a little bit, and then as soon as we did that, Austin started kicking our butt. So you just had to pick your poison, and unfortunately they hit their shots.
I got to look back maybe coming out that second half. Did you feel your team kind of had a sense of, hey, we did it for 16 minutes and maybe didn't come out with that same edge in the second half as they had in that late first half?
Yeah, I think maybe that's a little bit. Is you let your guard down just a bit, and they do it. And the other thing was I thought they kind of extended their pressure a little bit, and we didn't respond great to that right off the bat. And it's tough. That's the thing about Cahokia is, and you can say it, and then it happens. They're capable of doing that at any time. You can play so well, and then at any given time they can just turn it up a notch. And they're 21-3 for a reason. I'm not frustrated how we played. I thought we played okay. Frustrated that we had them on the ropes and we let it away because we had a bad stretch. About a 4-minute stretch there in the third quarter, and it just killed us. And, I really thought we had a chance to beat them last night. The way the game was going, and it's just frustrating that we couldn't close it out.
Couldn't close it out, but I thought your team fought hard, which is what they're going to need over the next 3 games. Marion at home before you go to Effingham and to Carbondale to wrap things up. I mean, this has got to be a deal where, last night was tough, but you almost have to explain to your kids more that, hey, I know last night was hard, but you got to really rattle after it here the next 3 games for postseason.
Yeah, after the game, didn't get upset at all with them. Just kind of talked about the fact, hey, I loved our effort tonight. I love the fact that you guys kept fighting. They made that run in the third quarter, and our guys regrouped and kept playing hard. And kind of talked about, if we would have played this hard on the road this year, we would have a lot more success on the road. I thought we played pretty well last night. Just we haven't been able to do that all year. We got Marion at home Friday night. That's a big game. It's Hall of Fame night. It's our last home game of the year for our seniors. I think our guys take a lot of pride that they're unbeaten at home. They want to have that streak for the year, and we still want to finish on the top half of our conference, which is possible. Centralia's a game ahead of us. Coki's 3 games ahead of us. But, us and Althoff are tied. Carbondale's just a game behind. So if we can get that win, we can finish in the top half of our league and then take our chances at Carbondale. And it's a team that's in our regional, and then at Effingham's a game that if we play well is winnable, and then at Carbondale is. And so all 3 games are games that we have a chance to win, but we're going to have to play really well in all of them.
I got to ask this. I know we don't talk much about this, but I got to point this out. Last night, the JV Rams were down double digits second half and battled back to get a big road win last night at Cahokia. Talk about that JV team, those kids that really set a tone maybe for the varsity to start with in that game last night to show everybody, hey, we're coming over here and we mean business after that great comeback win.
That's got to be one of the best comebacks that I've seen. I went down with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter to start going over our stuff on the board, and we were down, I think, 19, and pretty bad. It was a bad night. It was like 38 to 19, and I came back up after we went through our scouting report, and there were 45 seconds left, and we were up 3. And that shows a lot from our younger kids, because that's a tough place to play, and for them to be down so much in the battle back, and it did. I thought that them coming back carried over to the varsity game. I thought Cahokia was a little flat to start the game, and I think it's because of the way that JV game ended. They kind of took the crowd out, and like I said, we don't have that bad start to the third quarter, let the crowd get back in. I thought, not complaining about it, but I thought the technical really, really hurt us. I didn't. The first thing when I got home, tried to watch to see what happened. Just tough to see anything, and that was a big swing because it was our ball. It took the ball away from us, gave them 2 free throws, and they scored on the possession. Then they got a turnover, and then they scored. It went from a 2-point game to a 7-point game, snap of a finger. But
Besides that, we get into postseason now. The postseason seedings were released Thursday. The pairings, dates, and times yesterday. Any surprises for you as how that regional got ranked, rated, and or stuff like along that line?
I didn't know what to expect in that because your head-to-heads were really complicated and records. I mean, we beat Carbondale, but Carbondale beat Marion twice. Marion beat us 2 out of 3 times. Massac beat Carbondale, but Marion beat Massac. So I didn't really know what to expect, and I saw Massac beat Murfreesboro really badly last night. They've got Benton tonight, and I'm not that I want to play anybody. I'm glad we're not playing Marion a 5th time in the first round of the regional because not because I want to play somebody else. It's just you hate to play a team that many times. We're getting ready to play them again Friday. And at least we'll stay away from them a little bit more. And, I think our regional is wide open, and I think we have as good a chance as anybody to come out of there. But they're going to have to really play well.
Going to have to play well with Marion at home next week. That's a big weekend, obviously, with Hall of Fame, and then at Effingham at Carbondale. But our final question of the week, and you know how this goes, is our WMIX Sports Social Question of the Week. There's a blizzard in the eastern part of the United States, feet of snow being dumped. So we ask you, what would you accomplish if a blizzard like that would roll through here? What would you get accomplished or get done?
Probably try to watch a lot of game film and then lay on the couch and watch a lot of sports because I haven't gotten to do that much lately.
I know. We're on the road all the time.
A whole bunch of nothing being done.
Well, that's pretty much all you can do is sit at home and do nothing in that case, the way it sounds.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, we thank you for joining us. We'll be there next Friday night, of course, for the Marion at Mount Vernon game, and, of course, the rest of the way as we go along with Rams basketball. Thanks for joining us this morning.
All right, thanks a lot for having me.
All right, Scott Gamber, the head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams. Of course, they host Marion next week. That'll be the 4th time they play each other, as he mentioned. No 5th time unless it was in a regional title game. And a couple of weeks, then, of course, a week from Tuesday they're at Effingham and a week from Friday at Carbondale as well. We need to take a break. When we come back on the other side, Wayne City Boys basketball coach Russ Gerlach will join us as he talks about his win last night over Sandoval and how his season's been going the last few weeks. You're listening to Saturday Sports Show brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
We'll return with some Wayne City Boys basketball talk.
Looking for a long-term, competitive fixed-rate mortgage? People's National Bank's Rural Development product could be a perfect fit. Hi, I'm Joy Schrader, mortgage specialist at People's National Bank. A rural development loan allows you to borrow up to 102% of the appraised value of the home. There's no down payment required, and with expanded income guidelines, People's National Bank can help you get in the home of your dreams.
People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loans subject to credit approval.
The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois proudly welcomes Dr. Brian Steinke to their medical staff. Dr. Steinke earned his medical degree at the University of Illinois in Chicago and has degrees in anatomy and physiology from UC Berkeley. And he brings prestigious credentials to the center. Dr. Steinke is a gifted physician and contributor to orthopedic textbooks. Call 618-242-3778 or visit their informative website at orthocenter-si.com.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXsports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday Sports Show? WMIXsports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXsports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
On a February Saturday morning, second full weekend of February, Danny Swinsky, Chris Hugo, Mike Richardson, Jeff Crow for the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Joining us now, the head coach of the Wayne City Indians boys basketball team, Russ Gerlach. How are you this morning, Coach, after that win last night?
Pretty happy. How are you guys?
We're doing well here. We noticed last night a big win over Sandoval. You improve your record in this season. Talk about your season. We haven't talked to you in a while. How's it been going for Wayne City basketball?
Well, I would say the wins and losses, if you just look at that, it hasn't been going real well. We've lost, I think we're 6-19 right now. So, when you look at it that way, it's not the greatest. But compared to where we were in November and December, we've improved a ton. Some of these teams, I think if we would have played them back then, we would have been, blown out by 30 or more. We played a lot of teams pretty tight. Good Oates team that beat Siskiyou this week. We played them in overtime, and we played with Fairfield for a while. We played with Everest County for a while. So we're playing better than what we were, but obviously, the results aren't necessarily showing us.
And I look at your team, and we've broadcast several of your games this year already, and I look at your team, and I see a lot of youth, a lot of youngsters, freshmen and sophomores, and then helping your team. And by this point, you've gotten a lot of game experience for younger kids at the varsity level already for the next few years.
Absolutely. We only have one senior, Zach Hinton, and he's a real good defensive player, good rebounder. He's not much of a scorer, so when you look at it from that standpoint, you're right. Next year, we pretty much have all of our points coming back, but there's a lot of leadership that will have to make up not having him. But it is good to get a lot of these guys some experience. We've joked around a couple times this year that our JV team, it feels like, is really playing in the varsity games this year. A lot of those kids should really be getting one more year of JV time in, but they've had to be thrown into the varsity games. Speaking
of thrown into the varsity game, this Midland Trail Conference, of course, is very tough to navigate through. As I'm looking on the teams, 4 of the teams have a winning record. You have another one at 500. How difficult is it in the Midland Trail Conference? A lot of people don't hear about it a lot, but it's a very difficult conference, very balanced almost all the way through.
It is. I think it's a lot more balanced than people thought it was going to be this year. I think everybody assumed that just the top 3, which would be Siskiyou, Woodlawn, and Waltonville, would just blow everybody out. But people have been, some of these other games to be a little bit more competitive. But, obviously, Odin has beaten North Clay this year, who I don't think anybody would have thought that happened before the season. They beat Siskiyou the other night. Sandoval didn't have a win, but they played Odin to a 5-point game. They played us to a 6-point game last night. Noble just brought their program back for the year. I don't think anything was expected of them, but they've got a couple wins. So, there's a lot of teams that are a lot better than what people thought of. Grayville's another one that I don't think people expect much out of, but they played pretty well this year as well.
I look at that when you talk about a program in a school like this that says we're going to bring back a team for a year. As a coach, what does that do for you with your AD, Tony Richardson, to sit back and say, hey, can we get a game, can we not, depending on what this team in the conference does? How hard is that?
Well, I'll say I've always been kind of not real big fan of the shootouts. I know they're exciting for the fans, and if you've got a really, really good team, I'm sure it's cool to play somebody from a good distance away and everything, but you lose those JV games when you go play in them. And, unfortunately, this year we had to pick up the Patoka/Odin cancer shootout this year. We lost the JV game by doing it. And, next year we're pretty sure Noble is back out because I think they maybe even shut down the school. That's one of those up-in-the-air things. We've also lost another game. I can't remember who it is, that somebody's off our schedule, so we're trying to pick up games, and we don't know if we need to pick up another one. If we don't, if we do pick up a game, can we get out of that? Can we get out of that shootout? So, it is, even though it's a long ways away, it's those kind of things you do have to get scheduled a year in advance, and it is a little bit nerve-wracking making sure you've got all your games filled.
One of those things, all your games filled, is you have 2 games left. One tonight at home against NCOE from the GEC. What do you know about the Fighting Cardinals that are heading into town tonight?
Well, I've got to watch them a couple times. They've got one real big kid, 6'5", last name Halfacre. He's a pretty good player. And the rest of the names, I forget right now, but number 52 is the other post player, and he's pretty good as well. They've got a lot of pretty decent guards that can wing players that can go around them, that can drive and shoot. They've really done a good job this year from what I've seen. So offensively, they got a lot of different things they can throw at you. Defensively, they do a couple different things. They'll go man-to-man, 1-2-2, 2-3, kind of whatever they need to do in each game. So it'll definitely be a tough test, and hopefully we get a win for our one senior night on senior night.
Nice to get NCOE back on the schedule. It used to be conference rivals for years. Nice to get them back. And then you go to Waltonville next Friday, which will then lead into the Waltonville Regional. I was interested to ask coaches this. How different is it to get a game on the regional floor the week before you actually play your first game at a regional?
I don't know if that's happened to us before, except for we've had the home, so I guess that'd be kind of nice. It won't be a completely new building. I know these boys have played over there last year, so it's not like we've never been on that floor before. We played their summer shootout. I mean, obviously the crowds aren't the same, and the pressure's not exactly the same either, but we have had some games over there, so it shouldn't be a completely new experience for us.
And that Waltonville Regional, you'll open up with Sesser-Valier on that Tuesday at 7:30, and the winner of that game will get to Steelville on Thursday night. It's a tough draw, but a doable draw for your team.
Well, I think we can give Sesser some fits. I mean, I won't lie to you, I don't think we'd be favored in that game, but I definitely think that we can play with them. We played them over the summer, and I thought we played fairly well for, we were still had so much stuff we were trying to learn on the fly, and, it seems one of those deals where it seems like there was a 10-minute stretch there this summer where we played really well against them, and then we made a mistake or two, and, the one bad habit these kids have is when things go bad, we have a tendency to put our head down and they keep getting worse. And that's one of the things I think we have improved on this year. So hopefully if we get, we're in a tight game with them, if something bad happens, we will hang our heads and we'll stick right in there.
Speaking of improving, we'll change topics completely. It seems our college basketball team might be finally starting to find their way here in February.
Well, I didn't get to watch much of Tuesday night's game. We were at Woodlawn. On the way home, I was checking Twitter, and I saw they were way up, and so I didn't get to watch it on DVR. But, yeah, my dad watched the whole game, and he told me he finally felt like they were starting to gel and play together. When I saw them play last Saturday, they seemed to be sharing the ball much better, working together much better. It was a lot less just one-on-one go to the hole, and, it doesn't matter what level it is, when you work together as a team, good things will happen.
Hey, and then today there should be another win against Auburn, and then the toughies start showing up on the schedule next couple of weeks with Florida and Missouri as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on where you're playing Missouri at or when you're playing them. They may show up and they may not, but Florida will definitely be a tough test.
Oh, Missouri's got to kind of sneak in and out under the radar because they don't know if Frank Haith is going to be there or not, depending on what the NCAA does. That's their problem.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with that a little bit, but I've seen Missouri, at least the scores a little bit. It seems like some games they show up and just kick the tar out of you, and some days they're on the other end.
Hey, speaking of this, we're going to give our final question. It's our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week, and they got a huge blizzard going on in the eastern part of the United States, so we're asking everybody, if one were to occur here in southern Illinois, what would you accomplish if you had a blizzard going on?
Not a whole lot. I'd probably just sit back and watch. I think it was Coach Gamber talking about watching a lot of sports. I'd probably be doing the same thing. I'm not much on getting out playing in the snow, so I'd probably just look out the window at it and lay on the couch. Probably lose a wee basketball with my son most of the afternoon as well.
There you go. Hey, thanks for joining us when we got a busy morning going on. Got a little Pee-wee basketball. Got another game tonight at home against NCOE. Best of luck the rest of the way, and we look forward to talking to you down the road here on the Saturday Sports Show.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. That's Russ Gerlach, the head coach of the Wayne City boys basketball team. Got a big win last night over Sandoval. Host NCOE tonight before going to Waltonville next Friday, and then they'll be in the Waltonville Regional, opening up with the Sesser-Valier Red Devils. We need to take a break and shift gears from the high school hardwood to the grade school hardwood. Class S state championship and third place game today, not only on WMIX 94.1 FM, but you can watch it live on WMIXsports.com. First coach out of the gate, Woodlawn Warriors head basketball coach Matt Patterson will join us next here on the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Welcome back to Personal Banking is more than our tagline at Community First Bank. It's the truth. From our 5 locations in Jefferson County, the debit cards tied to local schools that we offer, the dozens of scholarships we provide to local youth, and even our president who sits at the front door. The Community First Bank difference is apparent. Our mission as Jefferson County's premier community bank is to provide the best customer service around. Stop by one of our 5 locations and experience true personal banking. Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When an emergency emergency happens, time is everything. You don't want to spend time in a waiting room, so choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With their 30-minute or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Jeff Crow, Mike Richardson, Chris Hugo, myself, Danny Zerwinski here, and we get ready to go. We could do something a little different this afternoon here at WMIX Sports. Haven't done it in a while, but we're going to do it today, and we've done it Thursday night. We're going to do both games today from Red Lake. One of the two coaches, well, both. The first one from Woodlawn Grade School. The head coach of the Warriors, Matt Patterson, joins us. Coach, you got anything going on today in your schedule?
I think there's some basketball game later today.
There's some basketball game later today. First, let's talk about this. Your team comes in with a record, I believe, of 17-10. Not anything grand and great or oohs and ahs you're going to get, but how important was it that your schedule in the regular season played in this current edition of the Warriors' run to the state title game?
I think it's been huge, and I think Thursday night showed exactly why you play those tough games. 204 was a good ball club, and, they got us behind, but it wasn't the first time we'd been behind all year, so we reacted like we'd been in that situation before, and that was definitely helpful.
Like some of the teams that you played, and I'm going off the top of my head, East St. Louis, Wayne City played them, Sesser-Valier, Centralia. I mean, those are all M's and L's, just to name, I'm not even naming the good Class S competition you usually play, but in that situation, I agree with you. Your team looked like, hey, we've been here. We're not only at Ren Lake, but we've been behind before how to act and react when situations are coming about on Thursday night.
Absolutely. We kept our composure, and we talked about it before the game. Said somebody's going to go on a run and be up 6 or so, and it's not going to be the end of the world. There's a lot of basketball left no matter what. So,
speaking of that, a lot of basketball, I got to ask this as a coach in a program that you run. Last year's group was a favorite. Everybody was talking in the grade school world, hey, this team's going to win it. Your team did. To come back to next year, this group of 8th graders and 7th graders who may have helped out a little bit last year, may not have helped out as much. Now it's their turn in the spotlight. Is this what's driving them right now to say, hey, I know we won it last year, won it all, but this is our time to shine and show everybody, hey, we can do this as well?
Yeah, they got to hear all the stories, that we graduated everybody, we're off from some of those guys, and we're not going to be as good. And I think some of that lack of experience early in the season, caused some of those losses. But they kind of got that, I guess, the whiff of, winning some games, and they started to believe a little bit. And now they're trying to erase that shadow a little and make their own mark.
Trying to erase that shadow and coming back today with a championship game against Rome. Played them earlier in the year. What was the result of that game?
We won 49-46.
A 3-point win there. Here's the thing. It's a state title game. It's Ren Lake. It's going to be amazing no matter what. The added fact of Rome with 2 Jefferson County schools in Class S, taking yourself out of the coaching thing right now, what kind of spotlight perspective would that have as far, does that have with 2 Jefferson County teams being in this title game today?
I think it's huge. Not just coaching, but the atmosphere will be even better than it probably was last year for that championship game, with it being, a good friendly rival. But, I'm sure it'll be electric, and it probably adds about another 500 people or so that will probably show up just because of who it is.
It's just because who it is Rome, and as you said, a friendly rival, as those two schools, Rome and Woodlawn, have battled years and years in different sports and trophies and titles, and there's enough hardware in both schools to stock however many trophy cases. But when you look at Rome, what concerns you today from the Woodlawn perspective of getting a win?
We've got to control their outside shooting. I mean, you were there the other night. They shut New Hebron completely out of that game in the first quarter. You can't let Wallerman get free, and you can't let Cuyaba get free. And they'll do a good job of getting the ball inside when they need to, but if you let them get hot, it could be a long day.
When I look at your team the other night, and I was watching them play this year, you had some kids that really worked hard to get themselves to the point of this level. Talk about those kids that you rely on, you'll rely on today to try to get a win in this title game.
Every one of our kids has improved so much since November, and just growing up basketball-wise, and getting to be in that spot. Leading scorer Zach Ashby's he's carried us all year at times. A little undersized post guy, but definitely super athletic and kind of surprises some people if they haven't watched us play. Jordan Hoppler's probably been our most consistent player the last 2-3 weeks. Does a great job inside and still not being very big. So does that. And I think one of the players that stepped up the most the other night was Jackson Helm. You couldn't ask for a bigger play from a kid in those last 30 seconds. And then he knocked down some free throws late after getting a big rebound at all 5-4 of him. So.
Speaking of that, and speaking of Woodlawn, I got to ask, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask Coach Burkett this. You go from playing on grade school floors all year, and immediately the turn comes into a college-sized floor at Rend Lake College. How much of an advantage, disadvantage is that when you're talking about dealing with and working with and playing on that size of floor when you're coming in?
There's advantages and disadvantages, like you said. It's if you're a pressing team for most of the year, and that's how you live, you're going to have problems when you get down there. You can see the press from New Hebron the other night, and Rome had so much room to move around and dribble and break that and find space that it gets pretty tough to do. But, it can get you lost on offense at times. It can stretch your defense a little farther out than you'd like. But at the same time, on offense, it opens up some things for you and gives your athletes chances to be athletes and some room to move.
Speaking of this, I'll ask Coach Burkett the same question probably too, is the atmosphere and the buzz around Woodlawn, the town, community, school, that you have seen since Thursday night as far as getting ready for this game?
It's amazing. I think I told somebody I had 30 or 40 text messages yesterday saying good luck and, that they're going to be down there. And I probably didn't have 3/4 of the numbers even saved in my phone, so I don't know who they were. Just tell them thanks and, we'll see you down there. But it'll obviously be awesome. We'll be well represented down there, as will Rome, and it just plans on being a pretty good time.
Our final question, because we know you're busy today, obviously getting ready for this big game today at 4 o'clock. Our final question is, there's a big blizzard out in the Northeast right now, dumping feet of snow everywhere, more than that. We ask you, what would you accomplish if there was a blizzard to happen around here?
What would I accomplish? Probably nothing.
Okay.
I despise winter weather. If we had a blizzard around here, I'd probably go nuts.
So you wouldn't get anything done? You'd just be stir-crazy?
Yeah, probably. That's exactly what it happens.
Oh, it's okay. It happens that way. I'm sure you're probably a little stir-crazy right now watching that clock turn. Matt, we wish you nothing. Best of luck today in that title game, and we'll be there to broadcast it, and good luck, and we'll see you later this afternoon.
I appreciate it. We'll see you guys later.
Matt Patterson, head coach of the Woodlawn Warriors. They'll play in the title game today at 4 o'clock in Class S. I got to ask Mike Richardson one thing. It's the buzz, the atmosphere, the title game at Rend Lake. It doesn't get a lot better than that as far as grade school sports is concerned with the amount of noise and level and people that'll be there today.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, we've talked about that a lot, and Thursday night's crowd was amazing. So many Rome people stayed to watch that second semifinal game between us and Pinckneyville 204. Very, very large crowd, and I've been to most of these M and S state championships over the years, and I just got a feeling today, if it's at all possible, I think it's even going to be crazier, just because of the Rome and the Woodlawn rival, and Jefferson County always being a hotbed for basketball. And the casual fan, can't tell you how many just casual fans has come up to me either at the gym or, as Matt said, we've been getting all these texts, and we don't even know who some of them are. I've been in the same boat, but the buzz is out there. There's no doubt about it. That's a lot of things that people are talking about, and it will be a fun atmosphere. I hope people are able to take it in and see it. Even the casual fan gets to get an idea of what high caliber grade school basketball is around in this area and what it means to a lot of the schools and the fan bases of both Rome and Woodlawn.
Down on the floor, I'll probably ask Coach Burkett this too. I got all kinds of things to ask both coaches. Do you hear the noise? Do you hear the atmosphere down there? Or are you so in tune to the moment that you don't hear it, you shut it out? Sort
of combination. It's you are focused. You know what your job is to do as a coach on the bench, and it's trying to keep the kids calm. But when Hell made the 3-point play that finally gave us the lead, one thing after you get a little excited, I had to look at the bench right there, and we had about 5 kids that was on their way on the floor. So it's also, you got to be a little person with some restraint there too. You got to keep those guys a little calmer and not get everybody on the floor when there was still a few seconds left to go in the ball game. So there's a lot of excitement. But I tell you what, I did hear the roar that time. There is no doubt about it. And I think you hear it because I made the comment to Coach Patterson in warm-ups. The buzz, there was just that loud roar. It wasn't the clapping noise. It was just the roar of everybody trying to talk over each other. And it was really, really noticeable. And I noticed it in pregame warm-up. Now, when they tip it off and you blow the whistle, it's you and the kids that's on the floor. But we did hear the eruption of the crowd on that 3-point play there at the very end of the ball game. So you get it, and it'll be that way getting close to 4:05 this afternoon.
Speaking of that 4:05 this afternoon, the other half of the matchup today, the Rome Hornets. Head coach John Burkett's going to join us after this next break. Talk Rome Hornets basketball here on the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
It's finally here. The new WMIX website has hit the internet. Log on to WMIX94.com on your computer, tablet, or mobile device. Make an eQuest. That's right. One click and your request hits our studio. You can even get to know our air staff. Find easier access to WMIX on the Twitterverse and Facebook. Stay up to date on local events along with local news, sports, weather, obits, and more. It's the all-new WMIX94.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting. That's WMIX94.com.
Hi, I'm Elaine. I've been a nurse with Good Samaritan for many, many years. One of the best things about my job is knowing that I work for a hospital that cares so much about the community. We're dedicated to attracting the best physicians and investing in the most advanced medical technologies. Whether it's radiology, oncology, or advanced heart care, we provide some of the nation's most advanced treatment options right here in Southern Illinois. That way patients never have to travel far from their families to receive the care they need. I'm always happy when families come visit, and starting in 2013, that sort of thing will happen even more. That's when Good Samaritan opens our all-new regional health center. Everything about the new center has been designed with patients in mind. It features all private rooms and family-friendly areas that make it easier for visitors to stay overnight. I can't wait to see what Good Samaritan does with this exciting new facility.
Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital, raising the bar.
Dig in with full contact coal miner training at Red Lake College. Learn in our new 20,000 square feet coal mine training center. Use real equipment like continuous miners and power sitters. And check out the new mine rescue and fire safety training tunnel. Associate degree and occupational certificates available.
We're full contact, hands-on coal mining. Real equipment. Real live all the time.
What are you waiting for? Call 618-437-5321 and get started.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show on AM 940 WMIX and online at WMIXsports.com. Jeff Crow, Chris Hugo, Danny Zawinski, Mike Richardson. Saturday Sports Show brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
State title game at Red Lake at 4 o'clock today. Woodlawn and Rome. And the head coach of the Rome Hornets, John Burkett, joins us now. Coach, are you up and at 'em this morning already?
Oh, yeah. I got Pee Wee games at school today, so I got to be up there for those.
Pee Wee games. Man, you just can't get enough basketball today, can you?
I guess not.
Golly, who scheduled all that stuff up there to keep you busy?
Well, I guess that would fall a little on me since as the athletic director. I got to be there.
That's all right. You got to be there. You got to be there at Red Lake today. Your team gets a nice win on Thursday against New Hebron. Kind of took charge early and often and really gave them no shot at even competing in that ball game on Thursday night.
Yeah, we came out, and I think our first play of the game was turnover, and then after that, our next 9 shots, we hit 8 of them. So I think Blake Wellerman hit 3 threes back-to-back. and sort of took the air out of them, and next thing you know, we're up 20.
When you look at this with grade school teams, a lot of times at this level or higher, M&L, you see with 8th graders, 7th graders, your team's loaded with a quality bunch of 8th graders on this team. Talk about some of your kids you're going to be depending on this afternoon, that title game against Woodlawn.
Well, we start 4 8th graders, 1 7th grader, and Blake, takes brings the ball up the floor and takes care of it pretty good. He just does an outstanding job of taking care of the ball. And then we got Quinn Quiava, really good shooter. If he's on, a lot of teams are going to be in trouble because just like the other night, he hit 6 3s, and that's a lot. And then Chris Hofford, he does a really good job, and Brooks Lucas, both of them, they battle on the boards and try to get the putbacks, and they take care of the ball as well. And Chandler, the 7th grader, he a little less on the experience, but does a good job.
Your team gets that win on Thursday night, and I got to ask you, like I asked Coach Patterson, when you come out of a regional in grade school, you end up playing at Wren Lake, and that floor sometimes is acres bigger than some of the floors that grade school teams play on. How much of an adjustment and difference is it for you to bring a team to Wren Lake and get your kids to adapt quickly and be successful?
Well, we've been fortunate. We've used some other gyms and practiced at their facilities. And matter of fact, Shane Witzel at Woodlawn High School has always been outstanding and let us use their gym to practice when we make it to state. And I think Woodlawn, used the same. And we went to Centray at the Annex Center just to get prepared. The bigness of the floor. It's huge. You got to cover a lot more ground on defense, and and the same thing on the other team. They've got to cover a lot of ground when you're on offense. So, and like I said, you got to be in shape too. So, we try to do what we can, and sometimes we tape down the floor in the gym and push the bleachers in. And
yeah. You talk about Rome and Woodlawn, and it's a rivalry no matter if it's basketball, checkers, whatever the case may be. 2 Jefferson County schools today in that Class S title game. You've been around junior high basketball a long time. This doesn't happen very often. You get this kind of matchup that people should enjoy today a lot.
Yeah, and the rivalry, on the floor, we're going to give everything we got. So is Woodlawn. And after the game, we're all going to hug each other and be happy for one another. And that's great because those kids play, they play baseball together in the summer. And some of them play, traveling basketball together. And some of the kids I've got at Rome are going to go to Woodlawn. But it's an outstanding, rival. It's good. It's clean. It's, the kids are just, both teams are going to give everything they got. And then after the game, the other team's going to be happy for the other one, whoever comes out with the victory. I'm
glad you touched on that because the unique thing in this is it's not 2 teams from the county that won't ever go with each other in anything. Like you said, these are 2 teams that are going to have a lot of kids play with each other in different sports the next 4 years in high school or know of each other. It kind of builds bonds whether you're on one side or the other or whether you end up playing together. It's kind of a bonding thing that lasts for years, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. And I went to Rome. Mike was my Pee Wee coach, and there's a connection there, for even us coaches. Me and Matt grew up, around the same time, and I went to Woodlawn, and Matt went to Woodlawn, and there's just a good connection with one another, and you couldn't ask for it any better. Last year it could have been the exact same thing. The last 2 years we've been in that third and fourth place game, and we lost both games by 2 points, or it would have been last year Rome and Woodlawn. But
right.
That's why you play the game.
What kind of buzz has it been since Thursday night around the Rome grade school and Dix, Illinois in general?
Oh, the buzz is great. I've gotten a lot of phone calls, texts, congratulations, and the kids are excited. The young kids in kindergarten, first grade are excited. The fan support has been great. I'm sure it's been the same at Woodlawn. Just some of these kids think that's the biggest thing that they've ever been a part of. And, of course, at this time, you can't get any bigger. So,
I got to ask this. You brought that up. Mike Richardson was your Pee Wee coach?
I was 10, right, John? I think we were the same age.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was about 11.
I was just a year older than you, I think, at the time.
Yeah, he had he was starting to grow a beard, but he matured a little faster.
Oh, is that what it was? The old,
That's what it was.
Where you look around, and you look at some of these teams that bring down kids. You go, "Hey, who drove the bus? That kid over there? That was Mike."
That was Mike.
Oh, that explains the nickname Chucky. Is that where we're getting at?
I think so.
Yeah. Hey, before we let you go, because you got a busy day, you got to run the Pee Wee basketball, you got to coach in a state title game. We always ask a final question here. It's our WMIX Sports social media question of the week, and we ask, with this blizzard going on in the eastern United States, dumping inches and feet of snow, we ask you, what would you accomplish if a blizzard rolled through southern Illinois like that? What would you accomplish or get done?
Spend time with my family.
There you go. You won't get much of that today, will you, with all this basketball?
No, not much today.
Not much. Hey, Coach, we thanks for joining us this morning, talk a little bit, sharing some time with us, and talk about that big game today. And we look forward to being there, and thanks for being on the show with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's John Burkett, the head coach of the Rome Hornets. They are in the Class S title game today at Rend Lake College versus Woodlawn. That game will start around 4 o'clock. You can listen to it on WMIX 94.1 FM or watch it live at WMIXsports.com. We got to take a break. When we come back after the top of the hour, we'll run down some scores from around Southern Illinois last night. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
I know you've heard about mortgage rates being all-time lows, but have you done anything about it yet? Hi, I'm Rick Pigg, mortgage lender at Community First Bank. There's never been a better time at buying a home or refinancing an existing mortgage. The sooner you act, the more you save, and we'll be there to help you through every step of the way. For more information, visit us at comfirstbank.net or stop by one of our 5 locations.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you can't pick us up where you live, move. This is WMIX, Mount Vernon, Marion, another Withers Broadcasting Station.
The Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Mount Vernon is pleased to announce the opening of TMS Mobility and Rehab. TMS Mobility will focus on standard as well as custom mobility products. TMS Mobility will offer power chairs, scooters, chairlifts, and ramps. TMS employs 2 custom seating specialists with years of experience, Kathy Graham and Jeff Burkett, as well as repair technician Stefan Tamplin. For those people who are in a chair for long periods of time, seating becomes critical in avoiding pressure sores as well as skeletal and muscle complications. Owner Eric Black says, "We're excited to be the only locally owned company in Southern Illinois with the ability to service all your mobility needs regardless of the complexity. TMS is glad to call Mount Vernon home. If you are a loved one or in need of our services, give us a call at area code 618-242-8776. That's 618-242-8776. Or feel free to stop by 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
America is a nation on wheels. Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview in Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals.
Pekin Insurance.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show for hour number 2. Glad to have you with us, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Oh, man, what a loaded second hour we have for you. We're going to talk to 2 famous girls basketball coaches, as we'll have Wayne Harre of the Nashville Hornets, Jeff Lonnon of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams. Should be an interesting back-to-back interview package we have for you. That's still later to come. We need to check in with a WMIXsports.com scoreboard from last night.
We're going to go around the 6-1-8 and the 2-1-7 both. In the Big 12, Bloomington beat Centennial 70-66. MacArthur beat Danville 64-61. Normal Community beat Eisenhower 58-43. And in the under game, Normal West beat Central out of Champaign 29-26. Cokia Conference last night, Carlisle got a big one over Columbia 59-38. DuPont got one against Valmeyer 61-57. I think there's
offense.
I think there's a correlation. Somebody doesn't show up, they win. Somebody goes elsewhere, DuPont win. Okay, just point that out.
They're undefeated without Milt there, aren't
that's
they?
what I'm thinking. New Athens beat Marissa Coulterville. That's about the 40th time they've played this year, 46-31. And Westland beat Freeburg 50-48. Central State 8, our friends to the north. Southeast beat Taylorville 77-53. Chatham over Springfield, the Senators, 46-40. Jacksonville got a nice double overtime win over SHG, 71-66. And Lincoln beat Rochester 71-32. Patoka got Ramsey and EIC 55-33. GEC, Carrier Mills beat Hardin County 59-48. Gallatin County beat Galatia 91-45. And NCOE, who plays at Wayne City tonight, beat Crab Orchard 72-57. Our friends to the northeast, a Little Illini, Casey over Hutt Pal 80-49. Oblong over the Hill 74-34. Robinson beat Flora 69-34. The Wolves will be at Woodlawn tonight. Newton over Olney 51-41. Lawrenceville beat Cumberland by 10, 77-67. And Marshall beat Edwards County 78-36. West, Highland beat Waterloo 57-54, and Jersey beat Triad 57-46. For more scores, and we'll get to more of them later, you can go to WMIXsports.com, click on the Scores tab, and we have scores divided up by conference, non-conference, everything else, all kinds there. Close to 60, 70, 80 scores listed neatly for your reading pleasure.
Oh, easily, and maybe more than that. It was a loaded scoreboard last night. It's still up there for you today. Our scores remain at WMIXsports.com. We hope you will check them out. As we are about 5 minutes past 9 o'clock hour, we need to catch up with Nashville Hornets coach Wayne Harre. We'll do that after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything. You don't want to spend time in a waiting room, so choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With their 30-minute or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
The huge St. Mary's School annual raffle is almost here. Hi, this is Roy Schmidt on behalf of St. Mary's School. Your chance to win your choice of $25,000 cash, a 2013 Jeep Wrangler, a 2013 Ford C-Max Hybrid, or a 2013 Chevy Camaro Coupe, or a 2013 Harley-Davidson motorcycle is just a raffle ticket away. There are also 13 other cash awards. The big prizes will be raffled off at the St. Mary Parish Center at 8 p.m. on Saturday, March 16th. But if you hurry, you could win early bird prizes every Wednesday at noon until the big event. Yes, every Wednesday at noon, an early bird prize will be raffled off. Get your tickets now at Ford Square, Mount Vernon, Schmidt Chevrolet, Mount Vernon, or the St. Mary's School office. All proceeds benefit St. Mary's School. Don't wait until it's too late. These prizes are too huge to pass up.
Oh, man. Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Chris Hugo with Mike Richardson, Danny Zerwinski, and Jeff Crow in studio for you here at the Powerhouse on Broadway. Presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
It is a privilege and an honor to welcome our next guest to the program. He is the head coach of the Nashville Hornets, Wayne Harre. Wayner, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Yo, what a great morning. Nashville Hornets regional champions yet again. Go to the Dupo sectional where they'll match up with Breeze Central on Tuesday night, I believe, at 6 o'clock. And congratulations to the Hornets on another regional championship and just yet another phenomenal season developing there in Washington County.
Yeah, it's we've been fortunate through the years that we've had pretty good runs in the postseason. I think it's for the program. I think it's 14 regionals in a row that they've won, and I've been fortunate to win 13 along the way. So yeah, it's been pretty nice run for us for the regionals and things like that. And it's kind of the girls kind of expect it, and they've got a lot of pressure on them when they start postseason play, but it seems like they've responded pretty well through the years.
Well, and speaking of through the years, and you take a look at the 13 years you've been at the helm, I believe that's the number, 128-2 in conference play. That's just a phenomenal undertaking and a heck of a record for the Nashville Hornets program. Since we've talked to you, of course, that you've made another 10-0 run in the conference. I mean, what does it take to keep that level of success going in Nashville? What do you have to do to keep winning these conference games? And I know that in the Mississippi side there are some great programs in there. You think of the Spartas in the mid part of this millennium, or the earlier decade, I should say. You think back to some AJ teams, but the Nashville Hornets just seem to be the epitome. How do you keep reaching that level? How do you keep it at that level?
Well, when we start out the year, we just we try to keep them, try to keep them focused throughout the year, and the girls seem like they're pretty fresh coming in, and it seems like they're ready to play basketball, and that makes I think that makes a big difference. It's not like we do some things in the off season, not a whole lot, I'll be honest with you, but it seems like they're pretty fresh when they're coming in, and when they do that, it seems like okay, as the season goes on, you get, I call them like some of the dog days of the season. Baseball's got that term too, and we kind of use that sometimes too, where you have to pick your game up as you go, because all these games, especially the girls basketball, it seems like it all runs together. Especially Class A, it's really a tight schedule where boom, you start and all at once, bang, you're in postseason play. So you have to make sure you stay fresh and doesn't get mentally wore down. And it seems like the girls do a pretty good job of it. As we go along here, and as coaches, we all learn. And when I started out, our practices were, it stayed a little longer. And as I've gotten older, I've learned some things here as we've gone. We don't practice very long, and we get things done, boom, 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 and then we're out. So I don't know, maybe that's helped over the years. I don't know, but and then I think also the girls, they stay focused throughout the year, and they look forward to the year. They look forward to playing basketball, and it seems like that's all part of the success that we've had.
Is that part of that success because you don't push basketball down their throats 12 months out of the year, especially during the summer?
It probably had something to do with it. I don't know for sure. I just, it's just like anything else. It's, some of these summer programs and some of these summer coaches really want them to be there. They need to be there. They need to be there. And, let's be honest. We've never really had a whole lot of, besides Erica Brown signed Division I basketball scholarship. I don't know if we've really had a player play 4 years since I've been here in basketball. So, we can't make these kids go and play when they've got a chance to play some other sports. So I just let them go do that, and then they show up when they can. And like this summer, we just canceled basketball because I just didn't have enough players. They were all doing different things. So, I think that maybe has something to do with it. I don't push them that hard in the summer. I don't, because I think the parents and the kids have to do what they need to do. You can't, I've got girls. I've had girls, and I got a daughter that's a sophomore, and and she's really starting to get toward. People are contacting her to do this and this and that. We're trying to filter through this things and let her decide what she wants to do. And because I can see it in her, you can get really run down and you get tired of stuff. And we're trying to keep that fresh with her too.
The here and present Tuesday night, a sectional rematch basically against Breeze Central. You're very familiar with them, and this is this is pretty tough little 2A sectional also with Redbud and Carterville and the other two teams.
Yeah, I mean, so I think Carterville's got 20 wins, and Redbuds did real well in the Cokia Conference this year. So those two teams are very capable. And then, of course, we've got Breeze Central, two-rated team in the state. It's just an unbelievable, talented team. Coach Reeder does just a tremendous job of them there. They finished second in the state last year. And I'll be honest with you, I think they're better this year than they were last year. They got the big freshman girl Wilkin coming in playing, and they're just a real solid team, and they don't have very many weaknesses, and it'll be a big chore playing them.
Big chore playing them and that Breeze Central. They've been getting a lot of the ink over there. They got you last year in the sectional. Has that been brought up yet in practice, or just, hey, we're in the sectional, we got to take care of business anyway?
Yeah, we don't really look at that a whole lot. We just go and try to do our thing, and we've been through a lot of big games, and they've been through a lot of big games, So we just kind of prepare for them, and whoever we play, it could be, if we'd be playing Carterville, we'd be prepared for them. We just kind of move on. I don't know if we ever look at that whole lot of revenge factor, because there's so many variables that go into it. But we'll prepare for Breeze Central the best we can, and I know we'll do the best we can against them. Now,
Hugo and I have done something you have not prepared for. Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. We've thrown you a little curveball this morning. Lonnon is going to follow you this time. So you can get your shots in now, but Lonnon's next. So you got to be careful how you do this. He's going to follow you today, which is something new.
Okay. All right. So I'm supposed to take a shot at him.
Well, I mean, we're just letting you know that.
Just if you have anything to say, you guys usually exchange messages through us a bit, but.
Well, you tell him. You make sure you tell him that fishing deal is still up in the air, and I'm looking forward for him taking me fishing, see if I can catch a little bigger one than he can, because I don't know a whole lot about a fishing rig. And if I do go and catch a bigger one, I think that might just kill him.
Well, I think there was more concern about the possibility of a squatch that you may or may not have seen outside Sesser-Valier High School that night.
Well, I was going to text him and say when I walked down to my car that I thought I saw him running across that football field, but I thought he might have to run over there and see if he could find it or not. I didn't want to get him out of his house.
Well, there's no kidding about that. I'm one of those too. I got to admit, Wayne, I'm one of those squatch watchers too. I watch that big foot show all the time, so I'm right there with him. I can't laugh really. But hey, we got to ask our. Go ahead.
I was going to say, well, you guys got me cooked on that show now. So that's your guys' fault. You have a lot of fault. So
so are you a Bobo guy? You like Bobo?
Yeah, he's okay. That's all right. That's all right there. It's okay.
Hey, Bobo could hang out with Bo Meyer, couldn't he? I think they could get along.
There's no doubt they would. That'd be fine. They'd get along real good.
Hey, we got to ask you our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. And this week's question is, there's a big old blizzard going on out east in the Boston, Massachusetts area and the like. And we ask you, what would you accomplish if a blizzard like that were to happen around here?
What would we accomplish? Well, I don't know if I'd do a whole lot. We try to get our old snowmobile down. We probably try to run around and try to jump some drifts or something around here. And that's about all we do. We used to milk cows, and I'm glad we wouldn't have to do that, because it's a mess when you have to go out there and milk cows when it's not 2 feet of snow in there. Snow on the ground. That's not a lot of fun.
Outstanding, Wayner. Of course, we wish you the best of luck at Dupo this week, and hopefully we can talk about a Hornets sectional championship next Saturday.
That'll be great, guys.
That's Wayne Harre, head coach of the Nashville Hornets, and just remarkable what they have accomplished there in his years. And you look at the 128-2 mark in river-to-river Mississippi play, and I believe one of the teams that got him might have been the Sparta team that went to the Super, I think, one year.
Possibly.
And a Cassie Drew AJ team, I think, was the other.
I'm going to guess it's AJ and Sparta.
I think those were the two, if I recall correctly. And, 128-2. That's a lot of games. Yeah.
Because everybody's had their runs, Right. AJ, Sparta, Nashville. Everybody's had their turn. DuQuoin had a year or two in there once in a while. Pinckneyville's gotten better every year with Engelhard.
And that's the thing is, some postseason matchups that allowed those teams to have some success. But when it's river to river Mississippi, it's the Nashville Hornets, and that's just absolutely incredible. When you really think about it. And that's not poking anything at at Pinckneyville or DuQuoin or Sparta or Carterville now or Chester then and things like that. But that's just an incredible thing about it. Some good basketball played there in the river to river Mississippi, of course. This is a Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
We'll get to Jeff Lonnon after the break.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday Sports Show? WMIXSports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
Face it, life can be very complicated. You need to simplify, streamline, and save time whenever you can. Life just got simpler at People's National Bank. Now get your monthly statement online at peoplesnationalbank.com. If you're looking for a convenient, faster, and safer way to receive your monthly bank statement, sign up for online statements available through People's Online Internet Banking. The next time you're online, go to peoplesnationalbank.com and simplify your life.
People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909. Member FDIC.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Catching up with Jeff Lonnon, the Mount Vernon Lady Rams. Saturday Sports Show, of course, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Oh, man. Jeff Lonnon, head coach of the Lady Rams, finished the season 20-6, South 7 Conference champs. Lonnon, good morning.
Good morning, Hugo. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. We just had Wayne Harre on, as you may or may not know. You know.
Yes.
Hey, when are you going to take him fishing?
Well,
he wants to know. As you know, you deliver messages through us quite a bit.
Well, it's in the cards.
Okay.
I mean,
well, obviously you both have.
I feel a little better about taking him this spring than I have in previous years because the Lady Rams got 30 points on the Hornets this year. I don't know if you know that or not.
I do. I listened.
And my whole self-esteem really gets, shot down to the point of, floor level every year when we come across the Hornets early in that tournament because I think we've managed to hit 20, 22, 23 points, the last few years. I mean, this year we hit the 30 mark, and I feel like as a person, it's made me feel a whole lot better this year. So seeing Wayner is not so painful. So I feel a little better about it. I might give him a call.
What?
I'll tell you a little story real quick before we get into this, and this is not exaggerating. On Tuesday night, I think, maybe Monday night, I had a dream. And it just came out of nowhere, and I don't know why I had it. But I had a dream that we're playing Nashville, and I don't know what the circumstances were. I don't know where it was. But we hit 96 points on Nashville, okay? And, everybody's shocked and happy on our side, and Wayner's sitting down there with his head in his hands and upset. So we got up to shake their hand at the end of the game, and as I walked by the scorer's bench, the guy keeping the clock said, "Coach," he said, "you realize that's your career total versus the Hornets. We just felt bad for you, so we just thought we'd throw that up there." So that kind of killed the end of my dream. I actually thought we had 96, and I think that was, unfortunately, according to the scorekeeper, that was our career total, or my career total versus Wayner. So it turned out to be it was a good dream, and then all of a sudden it turned out to be a bad dream. And I actually did have that dream. I could not make that up.
No.
So I woke up in a cold sweat, got a glass of water, and went back to bed.
Why does that? I mean, you can't let your self-esteem be impacted by Wayne Harre's Nashville Hornets, Lana, because there are 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and the Nashville Hornets having a supreme defense. You can't let that impact you in a negative fashion.
I know it. I know it. But you just, you'd be amazed how much you just sit around the house before you're going to play them. You know it's coming, and you sit on a piece of paper and you draw and you scheme and you think. And you think, there's got to be a way, there's got to be a way. And then you go and you play, and, you throw up a 30 spot, and you're like, and they got 50, 55, and it's the same thing every year, and it drives you crazy.
Yeah, and it may.
It drives you crazy.
But let's talk about another team whose defense this year I think has been incredible. The Mount Vernon Lady Rams. They finished 20-6. You get to the 20-win plateau after winning the South 7 Conference. Next step, obviously, a regional championship, hopefully at Harre. But I'm not beating a dead horse. I'm going to bring up Haley Lockhart. We all know the story. Lost her on December the 5th. One of the greatest moments, I think, since I've been doing Lady Rams basketball was the ceremonial tip-off where both teams agreed, the officials agreed, to let her come out, dressed in uniform, start the game at about, I think she was at the right point in the back court at the tip. But you guys let her do that. I thought it was a great moment, very emotional moment, and I just want to applaud you and applaud Cahokia and applaud everybody for allowing that to happen on senior night. Of course, you're one of the coaches who starts your seniors on senior night, and I just thought that was a great moment. And whether or not it helped fuel that big victory, I don't know, but I just thought that was a great thing, and I wanted to commend you guys for that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'd like to be able to take credit for coming up with that idea, but I cannot. I've seen that done before a few times over the years, not often. Maybe twice in all the years that I've done this, and Haley actually approached me and begged me, really to let her start on senior night and then just take her out, and when she put that little seed in my head, I thought, well, first of all, no, because the trainer and the medical people would never, they're never going to go for that. You can't put her out there, but then I went back and I thought about those couple times I'd seen that in the past, just a ceremonial type first tip. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go to those referees when they get here, and I'm going to explain the situation. And then when Cahokia gets here, I'm going to explain the situation. And if I can get both those parties to go for it, we're going to put her out there, and we're going to throw it up, and we're going to catch it, and then we're, and when you catch it out of the jump ball circle, it's a violation. And then, it's a re-tip. So by rule, that's just exactly what, I proposed. And the referees were 100%, the officials were 100% okay with that, and so was Coach Nancy from Cahokia. So we didn't break any rules by doing it. We just threw it up there, and we had Hannah catch it, which is not a legal jump ball, and that allowed Claire Ryan to be at the scorer's bench and check in for Haley. Haley came out, and there was a big applause, and we had a big hug, and then we threw it up for real. So that's kind of how that happened.
Well, you threw out for real, and then the Lady Rams, of course, go on to a double-digit victory against Cahokia, and just a great effort, I thought, by your entire team. Kelby Cuiava, of course, had 20 points that night, if I'm not mistaken. Your seniors came out in force. Hannah Owens had a good night as well as a sophomore, but you take a look at what you were able to accomplish, and that's a night that could have gone a lot of different ways. You have Cahokia unable to bring enough for a JV game, call you the day before. For whatever reason, Cahokia was about 20, 30 minutes late. So, things could have gone to Hades right then and there, but the Lady Rams did not let that bother them. Emotional night on senior night at Shagnon Gymnasium, and go out to a double-digit win, and probably offensively look to be one of their better performances of the year.
Yeah, it actually was, and you always worry about routine. It's no different than a snow day or a day off for a holiday or whatever when you're playing. Kids are creatures of habit, and coaches are creatures of habit, and you like the same habit. You want that JV game ahead of time. You want them to be able to head down at the start of the fourth quarter. You want everything, all the things that you do every night for 30 times a year. You want to happen on senior night because you want it to all be in routine, because the routine's been pretty good to us. So, whenever that was all kind of came down on us there late, there's some concern. But I think sometimes, I probably get a little overly paranoid about routine, that kind of thing, and I kind of forget that the kids I have, that no matter what has happened this year, they have given me everything they have on any given night. There's not been one kid who sandbagged it on any given night in our rotation, and that when they do that, it's been typically pretty good. And the outcome has been good. So, I got the same thing. The Cahokia team was late, arriving, obviously, and we had the JV game canceled late, and we had all kinds of little things going on there. I had to talk about the ceremonial jump ball, and that's different, but that's not something I was worried about. Particularly the ceremonial thing, because I think that's something the kids really love and enjoyed. It was the other things, that kind of had a chance to throw us off that didn't. And, they played 3 pretty good quarters, and then the last one we got a little sloppy. But the hay was already in the barn. We built such a lead in the first 3 quarters that it saved us.
Oh, the hay was already in the barn, and now you're hoping to make hay in the Harre Regional next week, where you are the number 1 seed. You were pretty tense before the game on senior night. Has some of that tension kind of gone away now that you've hit that 20-win plateau? Are you a little bit more relaxed going into the regional, or is the tension paramount?
No, I'm not. This is, first of all, we're the 1 seed, and we haven't been a 1 seed here since I've started, as the head coach, and we're going to Harre, and we draw Harre. Well, we draw the winner of Harre and Marion, and if Harre wins that game, we're playing a team on their home floor, and playing somebody on their home floor in a regional is a different deal. I mean, everybody right now is throughout the win-loss records. Harre's a 20-game winner too, and so is Massac, and Carbondale is playing lights out right now, and we're going to go in there, and we have a giant, in the past we've never had really much of a target on our back because we kind of snuck, like last year, I think we kind of snuck up on people getting in that regional final. I don't think that was really expected. And we beat Carbondale on their home floor and ended up in a regional final and ended up, almost winning. So the days of sneaking up on people are probably over. I think people know now that we're theoretically the team to beat. And what does Harre have to lose? If it's assuming Harre wins and we have to play them on their home court, they have nothing to lose. They can let it all hang out, and so can Marion if they win, so can Massac, so can Carbondale. So, no, Hugo, no, this is not. This is a nice weekend to have off, and we practiced hard all week, but, it's about every 5 minutes it creeps in, everything can happen, but in the end, you just got to trust your kids, and I know I'm going to get great effort, and like I say, generally when we get great effort, it's been pretty hard to beat us. So I'm just hoping that holds true next week.
Is it different being the hunted instead of the hunter as far as your team goes this year?
Well, yeah, it's always different, when the target's on your back, and when you're the underdog, the expectations are different because people just generally don't expect you to do do what you do. So when you overachieve, which we have at times, especially here, last year, we tend to look good, and then they did that. We didn't expect them to do that. Well, now this year, when you're the 1 seed, now everybody has higher expectations, and that's good because as you kind of get better every year and do things that you didn't do the year before, the expectations change, and that's a sign that your team and your program are getting stronger. And that's the ultimate goal. Because if hey, listen, if you're not doing that and things are going in another direction, I mean, that's no fun. And some things maybe need change, but so it's different. It's certainly different. And when I was at Benton, we had such a good team for 2 years, and we had the target on us for 2 years. I mean, 60-some games we played in those 2 years, and every night people were trying to take us out because we were kind of the big dogs, so to speak, in Southern Illinois. So, I know what that feels like, and it's not really that much fun. I mean, it's very uncomfortable, but it's also very good.
Well, speaking of good, or maybe not good as the case may be, our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. Snow, blizzard, dumped on the Boston area right now, of course, which begs the question, if that much snow came into Southern Illinois via blizzard, just a lot of snow being dumped on the area, what would you hope to accomplish in that time? Obviously, you'd probably be stuck at home, or maybe you'd be stuck in a gym somewhere or something. What would you try to accomplish with that much snow on the ground?
Laundry.
I bet it's mounted up.
I can't even get laundry. I mean, I'm not real good at keeping up during basketball. You know, I got like, you know, you gotta do the triple jump to get into my bed. You know, from the outside of the bedroom to clear all the laundry that I've got in here that needs to be washed. So there's no question about it that the laundry would be, you know, in the closet clean at the end of the day. And the other thing is, you know, Hugo, starting to break the winter bug here. It's starting to get a little bit more like spring, even though it's cold today. But you know, I'm going to do some fishing, believe it or not, today, and that would definitely kill my fishing plans. So, you know, and that's not a good thing because, you know, that's kind of therapy for me.
Very therapeutic indeed.
And, you know, with all that snow on the ground, you can see those Bigfoot prints a little easier too.
That's true. Although I don't see Boston, Mass as a squatchy-like area.
No.
Maybe Nessie, but not Squatch.
Yeah, and listen, just for people who think I might be half crazy,
You're only part.
I know you talked about Wayner saying that he saw Sasquatch in Sesser-Valier football field, but I really don't believe that. Just to be on the record, I mean, I'm not like seriously going to go to the Sesser-Valier football field and look for Bigfoot just for the people.
No, people know that. There's probably a bear anyway.
Yeah, it could be.
Nobody. Yeah.
I'll go do some trout fishing in the summertime up in the Sierras, up in California, you know, and that's kind of a hot spot. So I do have one eye open when I'm up there.
Oh man.
And a camera.
Yes. You gotta have that camera. Gotta have that proof. Lonnon, Harre Regional this coming week. We wish you the Lady Rams the best of luck. Hoping to have games Tuesday and Thursday and beyond. Good luck to the ladies. We'll see you Tuesday night.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. Jeff Lonnon, Mount Vernon Lady Rams head basketball coach. And no, he is not half crocked. He is not crazy at all. Oh, man. I had a feeling that would happen. Let's see. We need to take a break. When we come back, we have plenty of sports to talk about. We're going to get a quick touch on cheerleading, bowling, and wrestling when we come back here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
It's finally here. The new WMIX website has hit the internet. Log on to WMIX94.com on your computer, tablet, or mobile device. Make an eQuest. That's right. One click and your request hits our studio. You can even get to know our air staff. Find easier access to WMIX on the Twitterverse and Facebook. Stay up to date on local events along with local news, sports, weather, obits, and more. It's the all-new WMIX94.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting. That's WMIX94.com.
State Farm, this is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica, Jerry Newman. Does State Farm offer more discounts to more drivers?
Yep, like the good driver discount.
So it's for good, but not great drivers.
No, Jerry. There's also the multi-line discount.
For calling from multiple lines while driving.
You should never use a phone while driving.
I only make calls from my car when I'm stuck in a ditch or something.
Are you in a ditch?
Yes, I am.
State Farm offers more discounts to more drivers than any other insurance company. Get to a better state.
One more reason to call State Farm agent Tony Wilton Mount Vernon at 242-1421.
When an emergency happens, time is everything. You don't want to spend time in a waiting room, so choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With their 30-minute or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXsports.com, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
A lot going on today in the world of high school and local sports. And, of course, we wish the best of luck to the Mount Vernon Rams cheerleaders. They're trying to bring home championship number 5 from the ICCA cheer finals in Springfield today. Best of luck to the Rams cheerleaders. Of course, they were unable to attend the game at Cahokia last night because of that. It did impact the atmosphere, I thought. Obviously, Cahokia brought a nice crowd last night, but you know, it just did not have the same feel without the Rams cheerleaders. And, of course, they're trying for their 5th state title today. 97-03-08-09 are their state championships. But we also have the Lady Rams bowlers are up at the state finals, and of course they were in 18th after day one of action, but Salem sat in 5th. Salem, of course, won the sectional, but you took a look at kind of those regional results. We do have the top 10 plus the Lady Rams on WMIXsports.com, but you saw Salem in 5th place, but you also saw O'Fallon and Collinsville in the top 10 as well, and so a great Southern Illinois representation. But we wish the best of luck to the Lady Rams bowlers up at state today. That was way cool. They finished in 2nd in the Mount Vernon sectional last week at Newbold Lanes. I understand Newbold did another fantastic job in hosting a postseason event. We hope there'll be many more to come to Mount Vernon. We certainly do. What a big deal.
We got the facilities to host it.
Oh, yeah.
And the new high school stuff coming as well. So that'll be a gymnasium to host boys and girls regionals and sectional play as well. And, you know, baseball field, get some stuff done. Maybe we can host something there as well. So, I mean, there's opportunities coming the next several years for Mount Vernon to host postseason events of all kinds.
Kind of surprised the Rams haven't gotten a regional again. They held one in 2008 and then haven't really had a baseball regional or postseason since. I understand the sectional issue. I think you have to have lights to have the sectional in baseball. And I could be wrong there. But, you know, it would be nice to be able to have more postseason events in Mount Vernon. But speaking of Mount Vernon and postseason events, 5 Rams wrestlers headed to the sectional in Mattoon this weekend. Of course, Quentin Favors, Chase Fosberg, Alex Fosberg, Tristan Penrod, and Justin Armstrong. And we wish those 5 the best of luck at the sectional today in Mattoon. And, of course, if you want to stay up to date on Rams Wrestling, the Mount Vernon Rams Wrestling is on Facebook, and Coach Doherty and his crew do a great job of keeping everybody up to date on there. It's one of our likes on Facebook. If you want to go to our Facebook page at WMIX Sports, you can find Rams Wrestling that way under our likes. So, or you can just search Mount Vernon Rams Wrestling and just skip the middleman. But you can go to our Facebook page. We'd appreciate it. But big deal for Rams Wrestling, of course, and Sean Doherty and company doing a fine job there. Oh, man. 40 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. We do have one more break to take here on the Saturday Sports. We're going to go ahead and burn that, come back and talk some more basketball, some probably recap the events going on today on WMIX as well. Here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything. You don't want to spend time in a waiting room, so choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With their 30-minute or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXsports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday Sports Show? WMIXsports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXsports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
Learn to live healthy, learn to live well, and learn how you can live free from unexpected medical expense with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance and the Page Agency. Health insurance that covers hospital, medical, and surgical expenses offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount, too. Rising medical costs don't have to be a problem with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance. This is coverage we hope you'll never need, but you just can't be without. Call the Page Agency at 242-7000 about a major medical health insurance plan today.
We welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show. Glad to have you with us as we wrap up today. About 19 minutes left in the program. Chris Hugo with Mike Richardson and Danny Zerwinski. Jeff Crow with us as well here in the Powerhouse Sports Show today, as always, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Only fitting that Crossroads Community Hospital will also power our junior high basketball coverage today on 94.1 FM. Video today at WMIXsports.com. The Rome Hornets and Woodlawn Warriors will tip off in the championship of Class S today at Rend Lake College. Prior to that, we'll have the third place game between the 204 Tigers out of Pinckneyville and the Eagles from New Hebron Christian out of Robinson. We'll have the pregame probably about 2:20 on FM and WMIXsports.com. That is assuming that the Class L games wrap up on time today with their Elite Eight going on. I know Benton, Centralia, Marion, among some of the teams in the Class L Elite Eight. So congratulations to all the teams that have made it to Rend Lake College. And we'll have those scores tonight at WMIXsports.com, but we will also have the coverage for you. And we had Coach Burkett and Coach Patterson on in the 8 o'clock hour. And I know it was touched on just how big of a deal it is for two county schools to be playing each other in the Class S championship and how it almost happened last year. But how amazing is it that it is a Rome and Woodlawn in the championship game? And you know, I'd feel this way if it were Blueford Woodlawn or Blueford Rome, things of that nature. Blueford also made it to state this year down at Rend Lake. And Mike, obviously you're a big part of that with Woodlawn. An incredible thing to see happen with two schools in our county scoring off for the biggest trophy in their association.
It's, you know, I say this many times with a lot of people that listen and want to talk about it. It's hard to do. You know, winning regular season games is a whole new animal than when you tee it up in regionals and things like that. You have more time for individual preparation because as a coach, you can't prepare for a 20-game, 25-game regular season. You have to, you know, implement what you want to try to do in your practice leading up right before a certain game. Yeah, you work on certain things about that team if you know them historically, but sometimes with different schedules, you don't know people, you know. Now, when you get down to the regionals and they start, and the difference of this in high school, you win a regional, you're automatically going to state competition. In Class S, it's the largest grouping because it's 16 teams. Now you'd look at your brackets and you have a little more time to prepare, but it's never easy, regardless of what people think. It's never easy, and it's just a testament to the coaching staff and the players. The fans are the ones that really get rewarded in these things. You know, you get to see your kids play an extra game or two, and in Class S, it's always the big sigh after you win your first two. Then you know you have two more guaranteed games. So there's a little bit of difference even on that aspect of it. But it's just been a fun ride, and I hope people, not only with the rivalry today, I hope they just take it all in, too, and enjoy the accomplishments being had by both of these teams all year long and just enjoy the game of basketball.
Well, and one thing we've touched on before here on the show is junior high success does not always equate high school success. But you look at what the Woodlawn Cardinals have been able to do as of late with class expansion. You look at the state championship team from last year, and, you know, Ross Owens, Brett Harris seeing varsity time for Shane Witzel. You look at some of the Rome kids that will be going into Woodlawn and some of the Rome kids that will be going into Mount Vernon, but you also look at, obviously, the Woodlawn kids that will be going into Woodlawn. Usually, sometimes you have one or two that may go into the Mount Vernon school district because of where they live. Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, but you see the development. You see how the kids look out there on the floor, and there's just something about it. And we talk about it all the time, how blessed we are in this county to be able to have some of the athletes that we've had come through, whether it be at Weber, whether it be at Woodlawn, whether it be at Waltonville, whether it be at Mount Vernon, or any of the feeder programs. And it's just incredible.
And I think the thing that changed a lot is what we've talked about many times is the when they reclassified high school basketball. And now you can't just rely on a grade school like you send 4 or 5 kids over to the high school and you think, oh boy, now Shane, you got them, here you go. But what really adds to that is when you pick up a Josh Wiggs, somebody like that now from Rome goes to Woodlawn. We've had kids from Grand Prairie over the past that comes to Woodlawn. And you throw in a good athlete, boy or girl, in that type situation. Now you've added another element to that where you've got more kids to get in your high school program and things of that nature, and it's no different. Rome's going to send some players this year. Next year, a couple of 7th graders will be going there when they get out of high school, or when they go to high school, be at Woodlawn a couple years from now. So it's been a lot of fun, and I've been fortunate to be around those Rome kids as well through our summer program, and just a bunch of good young men. And you're right. We talk about it ad nauseum sometimes about how fortunate we are in this area for grade school, high school, college basketball, that we can find something to entertain ourselves pretty well about all winter long.
I'm going to challenge you to do this. You're not on Twitter. And it doesn't have to be right now. I'm not going to put you on the spot. And this is no disrespect to the Woodlawn Warriors. But think about some of the Rome kids that have gone through Woodlawn High School and try to put together an all-Rome Woodlawn Cardinal team. Obviously some names immediately come to mind. Burns, Sims, obviously Koppel, and some of those guys. But, that's a heck of a challenge, and I was actually floating around on the Twitterverse the other night. But, this is a great opportunity for these schools today. And, of course, you can't leave out of Pinckneyville 204, the champion prior to Woodlawn. And you look at what the Tigers have been able to accomplish in their time, and they've had some great Panthers come through there. And just, it's kind of a who's who, and with the New Hebron in the Final Four. And that's no disrespect to New Hebron. It's just the association's just kind of starting to expand to the north a little bit.
And that was sort of another topic that, you get caught up in certain things and your mind sort of goes a different direction when things take place. But the year that 204 won their championship in 11, I believe, that bracketing fell into place to where Woodlawn was in top bracket, 204 was in the bottom bracket. And Woodlawn and 204 had played a regular season game at 204 and had another physical knockdown, drag-out game, and I think they ended up winning by 5, 6, 7 points at home, something like that. And then primed for the regionals and everything get going, and the flu bug comes in. And
I remember that.
You just talk about just a bad feeling. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can't touch a kid on the head and heal him, and it was just sort of disastrous. And it just wiped out, just hopes and dreams for a lot of people. Now, them things happen. Every team has a nagging injury, the flu bug, something like that. You just want to try to be healthy this time of year. Knock on wood that we're going to have 2 more games in Class S. 4 Class L games will be going on today, and hopefully all those teams will be healthy and they get to show their fans, one more time in Class S regards that, how the game of basketball should be played, and just enjoy it. Just sit back and enjoy it and be loud. As if I need to tell anybody to be loud or in Lake.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my.
Should be a good atmosphere today. Of course, we'll have both of the Class S games for you on WMIX FM. Video online today at WMIXsports.com. We hope you'll join us if you can't make it down to RLC. We have the 3A and 4A basketball boys postseason pairings that have been released yesterday, and, of course, the seeds were released on Thursday. Mount Vernon Rams will head to the Carbondale Regional. They drew the number 2 seed. Carbondale was the 1. Massac County the 3. Marion, surprisingly, was the 4, with Harre as the 5. And that they will do 1 game a night. They will go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at Carbondale. And on Monday, the 25th, it'll be number 4 Marion and number 5 Harre at 7:30. All these games at 7:30 for the right to play Carbondale number 1 on Tuesday night. Wednesday, the Mount Vernon Rams will have Massac County, followed by the championship game on Friday night, and that is an interesting regional just because you have a Massac team coming in, Danny, that you're very familiar with over the past decade or so. But that is a team that dropped out of the Pyramid Plus tournament this year, was surprised by being bumped up to 3A, and so really hasn't gotten to see a lot of 3A action outside of maybe the Superman Classic. And Heron.
They've done a very good job, I think, of dealing with the situation. I mean, that's a no-win situation when you're stuck like that and you're 2A and you're making moves, and then in May or June the IHSA comes out and says you're going this class or not this class. Massac lost 2 starters at the beginning of the year for various reasons. They've been able to kind of go along. I think Joe Hossman has kind of been building a project as he goes along, as the season has went, to get people forced up into starting and reserve roles that probably weren't going to be doing either. And the fact that they're at this point a 3 seed, this is a very dangerous game for Mount Vernon. I think Massac County's athletic ability, having seen them at the Pinckneyville shootout, really is going to be interesting. Not a Cahokia kind of defense, but they are going to get at you and after you up and down the floor all the time. That's just the way Joe Hossman played. That's the way he coaches, and that's the way his teams go. And Mount Vernon's going to be very careful with this Massac County team. Even though they're basically playing a 2A schedule, Mount Vernon will have to be very aware of the Patriots.
Well, aware indeed. And you take a look at how that regional stacks. Winner of that one will go to a sectional at Mascoutah, where you would play the winner of the Waterloo Regional. And, of course, at the Waterloo Regional, your number 1 seed, the Cahokia Comanches, where they will also they would play the winner on a Tuesday night. Waterloo's going to do a Monday, Tuesday night doubleheader, and then Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So Monday you have number 4 Columbia and number 5 Freeburg, 2 teams that were jumped up into 3A this year. Cahokia gets the winner of that game on Tuesday at 6, followed by at 7:30 Althoff and Waterloo. Cahokia's good.
Yeah. Can somebody catch them on an off night? It's happened before this year.
Yes, it has.
And that's the thing about them is you don't the night. What could happen? What's Cahokia? You get one shot. You got to be on your game. If you're the underdog, get that one shot. Cahokia can be beat. People have proved it. People have seen it. It's just a matter of doing it now. And that's the thing about it is,
well,
one of those things.
And on the other side of that Mascoutah sectional, the other semifinals, winner of the Centralia Regional and the winner of the Civic Memorial Regional. And if you take a look at Centralia, quite a few folks surprised that Mount Vernon and Centralia split up this year in terms of the regional, but those teams that bumped up into 3A kind of had a part in that. And you look, where on earth did Mount Carmel end up? They did not end up in 3A, did they?
Mm-mm.
We thought they might. That's right.
Back to the Massac County thing.
Yeah.
They're going to go a week without playing a game.
Yeah, that's the difficult part of it.
But they will, they're going to have that game on the Tuesday against Harre, and they bumped it back because they were looking for somebody to play in this. But that's a tough situation, too. I'm sure they had to do a lot of finagling to get that done, but,
Well, it's great that they could make that happen. Just to get a game in, and so they're not going to be too rusty coming in, but still that's going to have an impact, I'm sure. You look at the Centralia Regional, Centralia is the number 1 seed there. They are also going to do one game a night on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then championship on Friday, 7:30 game time every night. Your opening game it involves one team that was bumped from 2A to 3A this year, and that's the Olney East Richland Tigers. They will play the Salem Wildcats in the 4-5 game. Winner gets Centralia.
Mount Carmel's 2A, you did forget.
Do I?
Mount Carmel's 2A.
Yeah, I said they didn't end up getting bumped. We thought they might.
Okay.
And then I just lost track of them since then because they've actually been faring pretty well in 2A this year. But you take a look at Effingham and Mascoutah, the 2 versus 3. That might be a decent game. Effingham's kind of up and down right now. Effingham started out the year pretty on fire. Ran into a Centralia team in the 5th place game because Effingham almost knocked off Cahokia at the Centralia Holiday Tournament, lest we forget that. But Centralia, the 1 seed, probably the favorite in that regional right now, and it's going to be hard to argue that. But your reward is the winner of the Civic Memorial Regional, where East St. Louis is the number 1 seed. They are going to do a doubleheader on Monday night because that is a 6-team regional. Number 4 Highland versus number 5 Civic. Number 3 Jerseyville versus number 6 Triad. This is an intriguing regional because you have Eastside, who's dropped down significantly in enrollment, so they're going to remain in 3A for quite a while. They had been petitioning up to play up for a while, and now are no longer doing that. But Eastside will get the winner of Highland and Civic. Alton Marquette will get the winner of Jersey and Triad. And you talk about teams not happy about being bumped up. We especially last year had thought it was going to be a super sectional at Carbondale between Alton Marquette and Harrisburg when you looked at early favorites. Well, that obviously cannot happen. And then now you're rewarded with, if the seeds play out, having to play East St. Louis in a regional championship game. That's crazy.
Yeah, good luck with that.
It's very crazy, but you kind of wonder now, you look at the Mascoutah sectional and possibly like a Centralia, if the seeds played out, we're just going to assume that seeds played out just for the sake of argument. Centralia, Carbondale, Eastside, and Cahokia. Not a prediction whatsoever of what's going to happen or feelings of what's going to happen. You look at whom you might see on the other side in a super sectional if you win Mascoutah. You have the Mount Zion sectional, which has the Jacksonville regional. That is a loaded regional in the CSA regional, as I'm going to call it. You have number 1 Southeast, number 2 SHG, number 3 Jacksonville, number 4 Glenwood, Number 5 is Lamphere, and number 6 is Rochester.
It's not bad.
That's a tough regional. I don't want to be there.
Jacksonville's a 3, and they just beat the 2 last night, SHG, in double overtime.
And then you have the Bloomington Regional, which feeds into Mount Zion Sectional. You have number 1 Lincoln and everybody else. Have fun with that. But for the sake of informing you, Normal, U-High, Bloomington, Decatur Eisenhower, Central Catholic are all in that regional. Mattoon's regional is Decatur MacArthur. They've come on strong this year after struggling the past few. They're the 1 seed. Mount Zion's the 2. Charleston, who's improved, is the 3. Taylorville, who's probably made the most strides of any program this year, is the 4 versus number 5, Mattoon.
Taylorville's done a lot of work.
Well, they brought over their girls' coach, McVickers, to be their boys' coach.
Right.
And they've made significant improvements, and that's incredible. They've won their first CS8 game this year in quite a while, and so kudos to them. But the other regional is Champaign Centennial, where you have number 1 Centennial, number 2 Urbana. Wow, Urbana's improved if they're the 2 seed over 3 Muhammad. And then you have 4 Rantoul, 5 Central in that regional. So that Prairie Capital Convention Center Super Sectional could be an interesting one. Not a lot of time to talk 4A, but not a lot of teams in our area in 4A. Obviously, you think of the Southwestern Conference, and they usually split up into 2 different regionals. They will go into the O'Fallon Regional, where you will have pretty well St. Clair County and Collinsville, which is actually split amongst the 2 counties. But you have number 1 East, number 2 West, number 3 Collinsville, number 4 O'Fallon. East with Malcolm Hill, the future Illini. West with Van Osdale. O'Fallon played somebody close last night. Was it Eastside?
Yes.
So you look at that one in Southwestern Conference play. So that's an intriguing regional. And then you have the Planet Granite Regional, where you have number 1 Edwardsville. Quincy drops down as the 2 seed. Alton, who's improved immensely this year, is the 3. Granite City's the 4. And I forgot about the 5th team being there, the Springfield Senators. So some pretty good 4A regional action there as well in the South. Not bad. But it's hard to believe the girls 1A and 2A teams have wrapped up regional championships this week. 3A and 4A regionals and girls start next week. After that, it'll be boys 1A and 2A, and pretty soon Peoria's going to be here before you know it. Redbird will be here in a couple of weeks, and it's just crazy that the basketball season has wound down that much. But don't forget, we will have junior high basketball for you on today. It's a triple header, actually. We'll have the 2 Class S games from Rend Lake on 94.1 FM. We'll have video at WMIXsports.com. It'll be Pinckneyville 204 and New Hebron to start us off, 2:20 pregame, followed by Woodlawn and Rome in your state championship game in Class S around 4. All of it with video streaming at WMIXsports.com, 94.1 FM as well. Then tonight we will have the Woodlawn Cardinals and Flora Wolves in non-conference play at Side Gymnasium. 6:15 JV start means an on-air time probably about 7:25, 7:30. It is senior night, however, at Woodlawn High School. That'll be 94.1 FM, audio only at WMIXsports.com. You can find our broadcast schedule also at WMIXsports.com, as we have a lot of basketball coming your way next week as well here on not only 94.1 FM, but right here on AM 940, WMIX Mount Vernon. Thank you for listening this week. Hope you join us next week. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, WMIXsports.com. NBC News is now.